Hello, we are live.
Hello.
We have made it. Well, we pressed the button, so hopefully we're working. Good evening, everybody. It's great to be back with Lockdown Life Live again. We are joined today by my gorgeous friend Rachel Wilson from the Children's Bereavement Centre. Thanks for joining us, Rachel. How are you?
Oh, it's a pleasure, Emma. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Your Tuesday night in your glad rags.
Yeah, makes a change from the jeans and the slippers and the big jumper.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
the pajamas.
Yeah, standard dress these days, though, isn't it? When you don't have to go anywhere, so.
Well, I'm sure you're all familiar with Rachel. She's a very familiar face around Newark and has been for a lot of years now. But can you just give everybody a quick rundown as to a little bit about Rachel Wilson?
Okay, I'm not sure I like a lot of years, Emma. There's a bit of a nod to my aging years with that comment, but yeah, I'm a Newark girl, basically. So I was born in Balderton. My parents still live in that house. I went to school at John Hunt and then the Grove. So not travelled very far, and I'm a Newark girl. I love the town and the local area. And for the last 2 years, I've had the privilege of being fundraising manager for the Children's Bereavement Centre. I can't actually believe it's more than
2 years.
It's just absolutely flown by. I mean,
Yeah.
happened to the time, and the last year's been unusual to say the least, hasn't it? But yeah, so I'm busy trying to raise as much money as I possibly can for a really well-loved local charity. So and I absolutely love my job.
Yeah, that's great. So we're all about talking about trading through the pandemic. I know the charity doesn't trade as such, but you still have to go through the same things that we've all been through in the last year. So my first question generally is, when the news hit last March that we were going into lockdown and this was officially a pandemic, how did you feel, first of all, and how did you guys at the charity react to that initially?
I mean, I think from a personal perspective, I can remember a friend of mine saying to me, "So, what's your plan then, Rachel, for the COVID situation?" I was like, "Plan? What do you mean a plan? Why do we need a plan?" And I think possibly on a personal level, I was probably a bit naive to start. You know, when the talk started about what was going on overseas and things, and then it just seemed to get more and more serious and closer to home, and then when the actual pandemic was announced, and you know, Boris came on the telly and said that we were all going into lockdown. It was actually the day before my birthday, so I have a birthday coming up. So my first thought was, that's my drinks out the window that I was planning to go. But I was sort of I found it quite difficult to process to start with, actually, on a personal level. We went to pick my daughter up from school, and some parents were saying, "Oh, we'll see each other in a few weeks." And I was thinking, I don't think we will.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to be at home for quite a while. So personally, I think to start with, I was a bit naive and then struggled to come to terms with it. From a professional point of view, I think the overwhelming thought at the charity is, oh my goodness, what are we going to do with all these children and young people that need help and we're not going to be able to see, because we're just not allowed to see them in a face-to-face situation. So I think from the clinical side of things, especially, there was a lot of worry and concern over the service and how we would continue to provide that service, bearing in mind that we weren't allowed to see people face to face. So I think that was the first main challenge really for the charities, to make sure that we were there in some form for the people.
Yeah, because now
just doesn't go away.
Well, no, and this Zoom calls and virtual meetings are such a part of life now, aren't they? But even just such a short time as a year ago, it was unheard of. Like, we used to meet for coffee all the time. I wouldn't think of ever saying, "Shall I FaceTime you? Shall I Zoom call you?" It just was not what you did.
And it was, you know, there's so many words now that we'd never heard before. I mean, furloughed. What was furloughed? You know, who'd even heard of it? What does it mean? You know, so there's a whole.
I remember getting it in a text message on that first day, and I replied to the person and said, "What on earth are you talking about? You've made a typo there," because I thought that she'd just written some made up word.
Yeah, it's you know, we've got this whole new vocabulary as well, haven't we? So Yeah, it was just a bit surreal, I think, to start with, and then we sort of seemed to settle into it. And from the charities perspective, you looked at the Zoom and how we could provide that support virtually, but we had to make sure it was secure, and that, you know, all of those issues that come along with that as well. And then obviously there are people that need our help that don't have, you know, the equipment at home, or the technology to actually connect using those sort of new methods, really.
Yeah.
So that was another challenge. I mean, from the charities perspective, we've stayed open throughout in terms of providing service and support. You know, the centre hasn't been open, you couldn't come in and see anybody face to face, but the clinical team have worked so hard to see as many people as they can via Zoom, where that's offer telephone support. You know, we just needed to make sure that suddenly those people that were in the middle of support as well, that support just didn't.
That's such a difficult, I mean, it's a difficult job anyway, but it's such a difficult job on a virtual level, because to engage children on this platform, it is really, I mean, I know from homeschool, but goodness knows from that situation, it is really hard to engage a child and keep their focus. I don't know, I mean, how did they do it? Did they just...
Because they're miracle workers, Emma, really.
I
wouldn't have been able to manage it. But my daughter does a virtual rainbows meeting, and on a Monday night it's Carney. You know, there's lots of young, high-pitched girls all talking over one another. My heart goes out to the lady that leads it. But yeah, I think, you know, because we see children as young as 3, you know, our age range covers from 3 to 18. So you can imagine the really young children, their support is offered through play, and that's really difficult to do, obviously, or almost impossible in some cases on Zoom. So clinical team have to be super organised and post out all of the resources that they think they're going to need beforehand. So things have to be planned more using Zoom, rather than, you know, if you're face to face, that session can go off in whatever direction it goes in, really. But they've all been amazing, and you know, that they're offering that Zoom support where they can and where it's appropriate, because it is right for everybody. And some families have said, you know, we'll wait until we're back to face again, and that's obviously there to do. But yeah, we just make sure that we didn't just disappear and that service wasn't available. So
yeah, absolutely, I think you did a great job. And from your point of view as a fundraising manager, the event side of it must have been a real worry, because you had all these events planned and you didn't really know, and you haven't known, have you, for the whole year, which ones you can carry on with, which ones you can keep booked. I mean, I know I've seen you struggle with changing those dates all the time. That must have been really worrying.
It is, and it's really difficult to plan, knowing that actually that thing might not to go ahead, and it's a lot to ask people to commit to something when they know it might not go ahead as well. You know, the local community in Newark, and well, right across Nottinghamshire actually, are tremendously supportive of the CBC, and you know, we've got some fantastic supporters. But to ask people to sign up for something and ask their friends and family to sponsor them to do something that might not even be able to happen, you know, it's a bit of an ask, really. And you know, the big events, the big fundraising events involve lots of people coming together. That, you know, that's the, you know, if you're going to run 13 miles, if I'm not a runner, you know, but if you are and you want to run a half marathon, you want to run it as part of a big event where there's people cheering you on, and you know, other runners as well, and a finish line and a medal, and you know, everything else that goes with it, that sort of carries you over those miles. And yes, people have been amazing, done 13 miles and done their own route, and thank goodness they have, because it's kept some fundraising coming in. But it can't be the same as, you know, joining in an event with lots of other people.
Yeah, the atmosphere's not there, is it?
No, absolutely not. So yeah, it's been difficult. We've embraced online things. We did really early on, we did a teddy bears picnic and asked people to have their picnics in their own families with their own teddy bears, and sent in pictures and things, and that worked really well. But yeah, it's been a challenge, I think it's fair to say. So
and from our point of view, we've done the grotto together, haven't we, now for 4 years, And so our thoughts went to that. Well, I think actually to start with, we thought we'd be fine by Christmas, didn't we? It won't be a problem. Our biggest issue was we needed a change of location, so let's focus on that. And then it very quickly after the summer became apparent that we needed a bit more than a change of location.
Yeah, it was just, yeah.
So that was the adaptation at its best, Rachel.
It was. Talk about what's the word? Being fluid and being able to roll with the changes. We were rolling, that's for sure. There, but I mean, at one point we said we don't think we're going to be able to do it at all, didn't we? Sort of almost September time, and then all of a sudden it was like, actually, how can we do this without seeing children face to face? And Santa's Grotto was born, wasn't it? So
it was, and what a success it was. It was fantastic.
Wow. Yeah, it was, technology is actually not my thing. Those that know me well will not be surprised to hear that. So the thought of, all of those children waiting at home to see Santa over Zoom and the technology failing me just made me feel slightly sick, to be honest.
Probably a lot of people watching that don't actually know what we did for the virtual grotto. Do you want to just give a quick rundown as to how we did it?
Well, we had Santa came all the way from the North Pole via the Santa Zoom airway. So we asked families, parents, carers, whoever to book their children in. They answered a number of questions so that we had a bit more information up front, and then they were surprised by a Zoom call from Santa Claus and Elf Jingle. And so they had a chat with Santa, who knew all about them, whether they'd, what they'd been up to, and some of the things, Emma, that some of them said, particularly about their parents, and
who were there too.
Generally, a lot about gin consumption was a big topic of conversation. Were just absolutely hilarious. If we could have captured some of them, honestly, it was the most fun ever. And then after the call was finished, our mobile elves went out and delivered a present to their home with a flourish of glitter
and sparkle.
Knocked on the door, and they opened the door and there was a present as well. I mean, the feedback we got was amazing, wasn't it?
Gosh, yeah. And so much fun. We absolutely loved every second of it. I mean, we've done the grotto, as I say, for 4 years. That was the 4th year, wasn't it? And we've raised money for the Children's Bereavement Centre and the Links and Not There ambulance, and it's all in memory of Daniel Harris. So it's very special to us. And to be able to do that in such a new way and see such happy faces, given the year that everybody had, it just did have a little cry at the end of it, if I'm honest.
So did I, actually. It was really emotional, and I think although it was very different to what we've done before, and there wasn't the same volume of people involved, and we weren't able to see the same volume of children, obviously, I think the fact that we tried so hard to do something in such difficult circumstances and after such a tough year for those families was really genuinely appreciated. And just seeing those little faces and shock when Santa knew so much about them as well was just it made my Christmas. Absolutely.
Yeah,
so it's really special to both of us. We've worked on it for a long time, haven't we? And just pleased to be able to do something, and for it not to happen at all would have been such a shame.
Yeah, definitely it would, and it'll be back this year bigger and better in some shape or form. I'm not sure
Absolutely. Well, we can't get through the Christmas period without being an elf, can we, Emma?
No, of course not, no. So what events have you got planned this year for the CBC then? Have we got anything exciting to look forward to?
Loads and loads. So I think I'll go to my family in about June, and hello again probably
Christmas Day.
Possibly actually. But we've done what all charities have done and said, well, okay, we can't do that this year, we'll do it next year. So 2021 is shaping up to be extremely busy. Obviously that comes with a caveat that we've all spoke about for the last 12 months. It is subject to us being able to hit those dates that the government have set out and the restrictions are lifted. But bearing that in mind, and we get where we need to be. We've got so many things going on, it's just crazy. So if I forget anything, please excuse me. But we have moved our Daisy Remembrance campaign, which we launched last year, which was a really amazing fundraiser for us even last year, because people were able to donate online, and it didn't involve anybody coming together or doing anything. So despite the fact we were really disappointed to actually move the exhibit, as a fundraiser, people have continued to support us with that throughout.
Oh, that's lovely.
Really, so that's been amazing. But so it's now happening. The Daisy Remembrance exhibit, which is being called Meadow of Memories, is happening in Newark Castle on June the 26th and June the 27th. So that's a Saturday and Sunday. So you can still donate for a daisy. I've got my daisy dress on tonight by going to the Children's Bereavement Centre website, and you'll see the daisy campaign, and just click on the link. So the idea is you donate for a metal ornamental daisy in memory of somebody that you've lost, not necessarily due to COVID. It could have been
anything.
I've got one myself for my mum. And it's planted in the castle grounds on the Friday, and then we're going to have a meadow of daisies that people can come along and just take a quiet moment of reflection and remembrance over the course of those 2 days. And then after the exhibit is finished, you take your daisy home and you put it in your own garden.
And they're absolutely beautiful, aren't they? I have actually seen
lovely.
one, and they're gorgeous. Yeah,
I haven't got one at home actually, sadly, but yeah, they're really, really nice, and we've had a fantastic response to it. But we do still have some left, and people can still donate for them. So and we're going to have other things going on in the castle grounds as well now that we're able to, because obviously it's after that June 21st date, so there'll be some activities for the children to get involved.
Oh, fingers crossed that I know.
I absolutely can't wait. So
yeah,
you know, some refreshments and things like that, and a service of some description as well. So that's
lovely.
Really excited, actually really excited. I don't know, people, it's been announced already, but the Dragon Boat Festival is definitely on. So that's on Sunday the 19th of September. So that's something that we organise in partnership with Beaumont House, so two super local charities, and we organised it for the first time in 2019. Fantastic success. Couldn't hold it last year, obviously, but definitely all on for this year. And demand for boats has gone absolutely crazy.
Has it?
Honestly, we are literally going to be sold out very soon. So
how many boats do you sell?
36 is the most.
36. Oh my gosh.
So particularly relevant to this, the Newark retailers are having a team. So there'll be different, representatives from different retailers from across the town in one boat. So, but we've got companies, we've got community groups, we've got sports clubs, we've got groups of friends, and it's just
it's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
It's going to be an absolutely fantastic day. So that's a really big one for us. So we're both, us and Beaumont House, obviously, are super excited about that. We've got a campaign that I'll be launching soon, that's called Quids for Kids, and I have to remember to say that the right way round, otherwise quids means I'm selling children, which obviously I'm not.
No.
And that's going to involve encouraging as many people to organise their own fundraising event as they possibly, events and activities. We're going to have a big totaliser, a bit Blue Peter style, for those out there that are old enough to remember that. So we've got that. We've got another event which can't say too much about at the moment, but
secret event.
It's going to be on July the 18th. So that's another big one for us. And we've also got a wing walk on June 12th that we are still looking for people to get involved in. So if anybody fancies standing on the wings of a plane while it takes off and zooms through the air at 100 miles an hour, get in touch with me. I'm doing it myself. So
are you?
I am. I've signed up.
Well, I'll come and be the cheerleader. I'm not brave enough to do it.
So it's local as well. It's actually at Wickham Aerodrome, which is just outside Lincoln. So people can bring people along to watch them.
Wow, gosh, that would be amazing.
We've still got places for that one. So if
you are going to be one busy lady.
Yeah, we've got lots going on.
That's brilliant. Well done. So just on a serious note then, if you had to, God forbid, do this pandemic situation again from a CBC point of view, is there anything that you would change or do differently?
If we did the last year again?
Yeah.
I think if I could wind the clock back, I would increase my technical skills so that I can take better advantage of the opportunities that were there. I think with regard to the support that we received from local companies, donations, actually I don't think any of that could change. People have been so generous, and as a result we have managed to, you know, weather the storm. I don't know if that's really, but you know, we're a small charity, so we were able to react to the change quite quickly, and you know, cut our costs, and will continue to support us. And I think it's down to their generosity, really. Some businesses, you know, I don't name names because there's too many and I'll forget, but have just been absolutely amazing. And some individuals as well that normally would give us lots and lots of time, have tried to help us in other ways, and
it's just fab.
It's quite humbling what people will do in these circumstances. And I think that's the one thing that I would like people to take from this experience going forward, is that perhaps we can all be a little kinder, a little more tolerant, and a little bit more thoughtful of others, because it's hard, isn't it, sometimes when you're in your own situation to think about others. But I think this pandemic, we all do, and as a community people have really pulled together. So
yeah, I think you're right.
All of that, I don't think I'd do any of that any differently. I think possibly I might have listened to my friend when she told me I needed to have a plan. Maybe not just assumed that it was not going to be as serious right as it was, but yeah, it'll be all right. I mean, she did take it to a whole new level. She was, you know, buying tins of beans and
oh my gosh, she was one buying all the toilet roll, was she?
No, she didn't do that. Interestingly, actually, when it all happened, she did not panic buy at all. She's very thoughtful, but she was super prepared. Yeah,
was she?
So not a lot different, really. I think, because people have been so fantastic with us anyway. But and I think the main thing was that we continue to support the people that needed us, and we've done that as best we can. We'd like to have seen more, but you know,
you just do what you can do.
Yeah,
and you're such a well-loved and supported charity locally. I think that is just reflected in all the work that you do and the way that you give back and support the community as well. So hats off to you all at the CBC. Fantastic.
It's the clinical team, they're just amazing people.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, absolutely.
And the volunteers as well. So
yeah. So throughout the year then, last question, how are you always so positive and bubbly and friendly and lovely? How do you stay so positive? How have you stayed so positive?
I am quite a positive person anyway, by nature, to be fair. Too much so in some cases, because, you know, I sometimes think that the impossible is possible. And as a result, you know, we strive for the moon all the time. But I think actually my family, I've got a little girl, you know, she's only 7, and it's frightening for them, isn't it? They just don't really understand it. I don't understand it all sometimes, so I can't expect her to. So you kind of keep a smile on your face a bit for her, and some of the things that the kids come out with just make me smile and they make me laugh. Some of the lovely things, I've never had a job before when so many nice messages drop in my email inbox, so many nice surprises from, our company wanted to donate to a charity and we've nominated you, and so we're good, can we have your bank details because we're going to transfer this money, or the son's decided to do 30 push-ups a day for a month and he was only little, you know, it's I think it's because I'm aware of the things that people are doing in a charitable way that you think, do you know what, we're all well, touch wood, we're all fine, let's just get through this. There will be an end in sight, although at times I thought that there wouldn't be, but I think particularly now there does seem to be light at the end of the tunnel. So
absolutely, yeah,
really,
yeah. No, I think you're right. I think we are coming out the other end. The vaccination program seems to be going well, and hopefully we can all look forward to a little bit more of a relaxed summer without going too crazy. Yes, fingers crossed for sure. Yeah, and hopefully all my lovely retailers get to open their doors again soon.
Yes,
I'm very excited about a little bit of shopping.
Yes, and the sun needs to come out as well, because don't people feel better as well when the sun shines? So, you know, people get out the houses and walk in a shop, and I think we'll all be sensible and take precautions, won't we?
Definitely will.
Yeah, we're coming into a nicer part of the year. It's spring. Things are starting to grow, aren't they? It's an air of positivity. So just hang on to
keep it that way for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Well, it's been absolutely wonderful talking to you. Thank you again for joining us and telling us all about your exciting plans at the CBC. Let's have a conversation over the next few days and see if we can get some of those onto the Shop Newark online website as well, just to help people get directed to those events and see what they need to do to be involved, because I'm sure there's loads of people that will want to be involved in everything that you do. And
bless you. Thank you, Emma.
No doubt we'll catch up soon. Ready to plan the next grotto?
Yeah, I know. And do you know what? We laugh.
Won't be long.
Before you know it, that's exactly what we'll be doing. We had a meeting in the height of summer, didn't we, last year? So
yeah, we did. Well, have a lovely rest of your evening, and thank you very much. And
thanks so much.
You're welcome. No, it was lovely. I'll see everybody on Friday here, ready to draw the winner of our competition from TC Home and Interiors this week. And I'll be back on Sunday with our next Shop Newark Online update. Have a great week and see you on Friday. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Emma. Bye.